The former USSR was a place of strict controls and censorship. But since the fall of the Iron Curtain, case files of the unexplained have slowly started to emerge from deep within the Soviet archives. These files tell of bizarre phenomena, monstrous creatures, and sinister occurrences. One of the most intriguing and complex stories concerns what came to be known as the Dyatlov incident. A group of experienced young climbers hiking in the remote mountains are all found dead. Their tent is ripped open from the inside, their bodies scattered. Some are barefoot, one has no eyes, and two show signs of radiation. Around the time they died, some other hikers claimed to see strange lights over the mountain.
Half the people died of the cold and the other half died of horrific internal injuries. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
So what caused them to die? Stories have emerged from the former Soviet Union of terrifying, unexplained creatures. Most are unknown to science, and many are described as having supernatural powers. A file is unearthed, written by a famous Russian paleontologist and science fiction writer, who claims it's based on a true story. It tells of a group of geologists who encounter a legendary creature known as the Mongolian deathworm. Mongolia in the late 1940s, locked between the Soviet Union and Communist China. This remote country is firmly under the influence of the USSR. According to the story, the geologists are conducting a field survey out in the Gobi Desert. But their expedition is about to be cut short. Around their camp, something is moving. One of the men goes to investigate. His body lies convulsing as if hit by a powerful electric shock. In a heartbeat, he's dead. The sand next to his body churns, and something emerges. The other geologists believe they have witnessed an attack by a legendary creature called Olhoi Horhoi, the Mongolian deathworm. Russia's unexplained mysteries date right back through the Soviet era. This was a time when the Communist Party ruled with an iron fist. Information was restricted, leading to hearsay and rumor. But sometimes information was simply passed on by word of mouth. A disturbing story has come to light of a place believed to exist deep in the remote forests of Siberia. It's called the Devil's Cemetery. Many who seek it never return. Those who do tell stories of an unnatural force. Many claim it's the entrance to the underworld. Rumors start to spread throughout the nearby villages. To warn people from entering, the locals carve the face of the devil on one of the trees. Rempel says the carving keeps people away, but he also believes the effects of this cursed land spread beyond its boundaries. The hunt for the Devil's Cemetery can be fatal, and many who went looking for it never returned. From within Russia's many files of the unexplained, there are eyewitness reports of bizarre and baffling encounters in the remote and desolate mountains. These mysterious sightings can sometimes end with deadly consequences. A group of climbers walking in the remote mountains pitch their tent, but not all of them will survive the night. This is one man's story of his encounter with a mysterious entity. It attacks the group, causing severe burns, and leaves one of them dead. This shocking encounter occurs in the Karachaevo region of Russia's Caucasus Mountains. One theory suggests when lightning hits the ground, it can throw up fragments of soil. It's these particles that become superheated balls of plasma. Behind the Iron Curtain, people's everyday lives were controlled in many ways. The Soviet regime tried to repress superstition. But in places like Romania, belief in the supernatural was so strong, it was hard to stamp out. One disturbing case file concerns a Romanian serial killer, but this is no ordinary murderer. Locals believe he's possessed by an evil spirit known as a strigoi. 1970, in the Romanian capital of Bucharest. A killer is at large, preying on young women. His name is Ion Romaru. But Romaru has a darker side, and at night it's unleashed. On the 4th of April 1970, he commits his first murder. Romaru's attacks are particularly savage and barbaric. Romaru brutally rapes and murders 4 women and seriously injures another 10 before he's finally captured. He's sentenced to death for his crimes. Russia holds many accounts of bizarre creatures. Reports exist from right across the former Soviet Union of a very particular type of unidentified beast. These stories tell of human-like ape men roaming the wilds, bizarre mutants, or just a case of imagination running wild. This is the realm of the Russian wild man. The incident occurs on the border between Moldova and Romania. The account tells of a young army lieutenant who'd been out fishing. Suddenly he hears a sound, like someone crying out in pain. The soldier cautiously approaches. Stepping back, the lieutenant continues to watch the strange figure. If this story is true, what had the soldier come across? Tales of the mysterious Russian wild man, also known as the Almasty or Leshy, have been told for centuries. Reports have emerged of strange human-like creatures spotted in Russia's remotest regions. In Russia's vast wilderness forests, testable scientific evidence is hard to come by. For the time being, tales of the Russian wild man remain in the realm of myth and legend. Along with mysterious cases of the unexplained, the Russian archives also contain details of shocking medical experiments. This was a time of politically driven goals and dubious ethics. One of the most chilling accounts dates from the 1920s. Footage reveals that Soviet scientists create monstrous abominations and even attempt to raise the dead. While many science facilities were hidden in the snowy wastelands, this disturbing case occurs in the heart of Moscow. The story centers on Russian surgeon Sergei Bryhunenko. He's witnessed the horrors of the First World War. And now his studies focus on the possibility of transplanting organs. If a healthy organ can successfully replace a dying one, then perhaps one day death itself could be conquered. Bryhunenko investigates the possibility of keeping organs alive when removed from a body. Controversial as it sounds, Bryhunenko and Demikov's work are both used today as the basis for modern life support technologies and organ transplant procedures.